Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Marriage, Mess, and Margaritas. I'm Jessica.
And I'm Jessica.
And I'm Alicia. And yes, we're actually drinking margaritas while recording this. Because how else would you talk about life, marriage, and chaos?
This podcast is our happy hour therapy. Just 3 women, 3 different stories, and a whole lot of real talk. No filters, no perfect Pinterest mom energy, just the mess.
We're all married, most days happily. And between the laundry piles, carpool lines, and late night, what even is life convos, we realize we can't be the only ones needing a space like this.
So welcome. Whether you're married, single, mom and heart, or just here for the margs, we're glad you're listening.
Each week, we'll pour a drink and dive into real conversations. Relationship, mental health, mom fails, friendship, body image, intimacy, you name it.
And don't worry, there'll be plenty of laughs, oversharing, and probably a few spicy takes.
We'll also share listener stories, answer your questions, and maybe cry into our drinks once or twice. But it's all love here.
So grab a margarita, settle in, and let's kick off this beautifully messy ride together.
Welcome to Marriage, Mess, and Margaritas.
Let the chaos begin.
This week, we're going there. Let's talk about sex. After kids. We're getting into the honest truth about intimacy, connection, and what it really takes to keep the spark alive in the middle of all the chaos. And speaking of adding a little heat, we've got the perfect drink to go with today's topic. Our margarita of the week is a spicy jalapeno margarita. Because let's be real, sometimes you need a little kick to get things going. So grab your glass, get comfy, and let's dive in.
So we'll start off this episode talking about our sip of the week. Just wanted to share with y'all something that I'm very grateful for this week. Is truthfully family. I've been feeling really overwhelmed lately with work and family, friends, and just kind of balancing it all out. So this week my brother's family stepped in and offered to keep the girls overnight one of the days, which really helped because I worked all day and they were gone out of the house. So I was just really grateful for that. They have 3 daughters. They're, older than my girls. 2 in high school, 1 in college, but they love my girls so fiercely. And was just really excited to keep them and have them. They tried to get them to stay a second night, but, life and schedules. So I'm really grateful for family this week.
Okay, what am I grateful for this week? I'm grateful for my husband who held my hand while I got my 4th tattoo.
You got a tattoo?
You got a tattoo?
Where is this tattoo?
It's on my arm.
I didn't even see it. Did you?
No, I love it. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
It is a little red still.
Yeah.
Did you go to that place you've been talking about going?
I did.
When was that?
Last night during the storm.
Didn't even tell us.
Well, Tuesdays was the special or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So did you get it for the price that was advertised?
No, this one's a little bit bigger. This one I got for the price it was advertised.
Oh,
Wait a minute, you got 2?
You got 2 new ones.
Yeah, look how little.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
Well, what do they mean? Anything special?
Not a thing.
Okay, I love it.
Jess, what are you grateful for?
Okay, I'm really thankful for friends and family. Last week we celebrated my birthday. Over the weekend we all got together and celebrated. So it was just really nice to have everyone together. And then just thankful for my job. It's been great being able to work from home. Now that the kids are in summer break, it's been nice to just be home with them. And I've been home the past 3 days with them. So it's just been nice to just be home and be present with them.
Maybe we should go to the pool one day this coming weekend.
Well, we're supposed to do a swimming thing Friday.
Yes.
Hey, we got our slip and slide.
Woot woot!
So I'm excited about that.
We're having a redneck pool party for all of our listeners out there. Okay, so let's set the scene. Alicia, how did your views on sex and intimacy change after marriage and after kids? Do you feel like it changed at all?
Honestly, we had kids when we were married, or when we
Got married together. Yes.
together.
Like kids already existed.
Yes.
Kids already existed, so sex was always tricky. But after getting married, sex didn't change. After having the 3rd kid, I think sex changed a little bit, but it was still sex, and it was worth it.
Was it intimate still after having the third, or do you feel like
Yes.
it took work to find the intimacy?
No, because we still had baby 4 and 5 and 6.
They still have 3 more after that.
Okay, well, what about intimacy after 3, 4, 5, and 6?
Oh yeah, that it definitely went away.
Do y'all ever do anything to try to like re-spark it or revive it?
We're really busy, so we pencil it in to make sure we have time for each other.
Do you feel like that's hard to pencil it in? Like it?
Whew, she is going with those questions.
No, it's something to look forward to. It's a plan.
Oh, that's good. Because I feel like I've always struggled with the idea of like penciling it in and adding it to the calendar. Like I guess we've talked about it before, but I feel like it's so.
I feel like it loses some of it if it actually.
Yes, like it makes it more of an obligation for
Correct.
me. And so then, like I really have to really mentally think about it if it's penciled in because.
But we've had that same conversation of, do we need to start
Yeah.
penciling this in? Because life gets busy.
Yeah.
And the more kids you have, the harder it gets. And so we've had to have that real conversation.
I think
But-
leading up to Sexy Saturday nights is
Oh,
something.
what are sexy
What are
Saturday
sexy
nights?
Saturday nights?
Well, that's where it gets penciled in.
Okay.
You have a name for it?
Yeah, and then you wait all week, you talk about it, you think about it, and then when it comes around, it's 8 p.m., you're ready to go.
Okay.
Get it over and done with, tend to the children.
So note to self, we don't plan anything on Saturday nights
Correct. Because it's sexy Saturday nights. I think for
I
me
love
it
that.
did change some. I think before kids you're just so spontaneous and so like it's just perfect, right? It's just the two of you. And for us, we had talked about none of us lived together with our spouse before. So for me and Nick, it was just so much fun to just be together 24/7. And so I felt like, I don't know, like we were always wanting to be together and always want to be affectionate. And then all of a sudden, one kid came, second kid, the third kid came. It did become different, but I think it just becomes different because you get so busy. I don't think the intimacy leaves necessarily. I think it's just you become so busy. And then we've had moments like months ago, which we've talked about, we did struggle. So now it's like finding that intimacy together of we need to be intentional together. And I think that has helped the intimacy. I think when it becomes a chore or a job, it loses some of that passion and that love for each other. So I think always seeking each other and dating each other has helped our intimacy.
Yes, I would agree with that. I think intentionality's been like a big thing for us. And I agree with you. Before marriage, I do feel like sex was very spontaneous. It was effortless. Like, just get it on when you want to get it on. But after marriage, and then especially having kids, like, you're busy. You have work life. You have work
Right.
life, and then you have kids, and like we were exhausted. I
Right.
think my last one, she woke up every 2 to 3 hours until she was 8 months old. So like I was always tired.
I think that's the big thing is you're just so tired.
Yes, and I think for men it's so different
Yes.
because to them they look at like sex is intimacy, where for me I need to feel that.
Yes.
I need to feel that love before I can express that love.
Correct. I agree.
If that makes sense.
Yes.
So yeah, did anyone warn you about the kind of emotional and physical shifts of after having kids? Like for me, it was. I mean, I knew my body was going to change, but I didn't know my body was going to change that much.
Body changes for sure.
Yeah, I had no idea. No one warned me.
No, me either.
Yeah. And I don't think anyone warned me about like the mental side of it either. I struggled a lot after I had my first one. I didn't know much about postpartum depression. Like that just wasn't something that many people talked about. And I remember having her and just feeling disconnected. Like I love her and I
Right.
loved her. I cared for her. But it was almost like I had just met this stranger that the world expected me to be head over heels in love with. And I wasn't. And I felt really guilty about that. So then I thought something was wrong with me. And so I really struggled after the first one getting through that part. I mean, Taylor was very supportive and I had family and friends, but I definitely think I had more support after my second one. But the mental health side, that part surprised me a lot just because it wasn't something at that time we talked a lot about.
Yeah. And I think ours was like the reverse. I think I struggle a lot with mom guilt, which I'm sure we'll get into a different episode with that. But when I struggle with that, I felt like I always needed, after working all day or going to school all day, whether I was still in nursing school or just being home with the kids or working, I felt like once I was done, I just needed to be there for them. Mm-hmm. So it was so much easier to put me and Nick aside and just attend to the kids and make sure the kids were okay. And I really struggled with that of bringing the kids, like even until recently, bringing the kids, Nick comes first. Mm-hmm. And having to say, okay, no, like Nick comes first, then the kids. That was hard for me. Yeah. And now my little one is 12, and I just realized this a few months ago of, no, the kids are okay. And to be honest with you, my 16 and 13-year-old don't want to hang out with me 24/7 anymore. So it's okay. But that really was hard for me to be like, no, I have to be with them. Even if they don't want to hang out with me, even if we're just sitting here watching a movie, it's okay. But then it was pushing my marriage and that intimacy to the side.
I think I went to a sermon one time where the pastor preached that your husband comes before your kids.
Yes.
And how that is so...
Oh, that is so hard.
Not what you would think. Yeah, and I remember hearing that, and it was kind of a wake-up for me because, at the end of the day, in 18 years, my kids are going to move out, and I'm going to still be with my husband.
Correct.
But I think the caveat to that is you have to have a good husband. And I think we're very blessed and fortunate to have good husbands.
Yes, definitely so.
You can't just put any man in front of your kids.
Agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that, yeah. All right, so sexy Saturdays.
Okay.
A funny, awkward moment. One of the first times that you and Matt attempted intimacy and sex after having babies. Do you have a funny story?
We probably have a couple of funny stories.
Really?
We accidentally locked one of the kids in the room with us one night. We had no idea.
Oh, no.
Yes. She went to therapy after that.
Oh,
no! Did y'all finish the whole deed before you realized it?
No, we were in the middle of it. Butt booty naked. Poor thing couldn't get out the room because it was locked.
Poor thing.
Yep. So my closet's big, so I didn't know she was in there.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. We had to talk about sex at that moment. Well, not in that moment, but the next morning. Talk about when mommy and daddy love each other very much.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
Do you have any good ones?
I'm trying to think.
I don't know. I don't think I have any that's going to top that one. That's pretty good.
The first time doing it again after having a baby, because we all had vaginal deliveries.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that first time afterwards, that fear, I was scared. Mm-hmm. When those 6 weeks came, I was like, okay, what is this going to feel like? Is this going to hurt again? What is this? I was nervous. And then after that, it was like, okay, I'm okay again. And then probably another funny time. So that was a scary time. Funny time was probably, my oldest was little. He was probably 3. And he came knocking on the door. And he said, Mommy, Mommy. And Nick and I were in the middle of it. And he said, are you guys popping again? And we just started cracking up in the middle of this. And we're like, popping? Where did he come up with this word? But that was his thing, popping.
Popping.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all's excuse when y'all would go to the bedroom was like, hey, we're going to go popping.
We never said that word. I mean, now it's a joke with their family, but we never said that word, so we have no idea where he got it from.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But yeah, what about you?
So I think definitely after having the first, I agree. It was nerve-wracking.
Yes. You
trying
just don't
to have
know.
sex again. Well, so I had one little stitch, and I didn't have any friends at that time that waited the 6 weeks.
Right.
So all my friends,
right,
they got it on earlier.
I was way too scared. I had to wait my 6 weeks.
Well, so I was like, okay, we've made it 4 weeks. Let's give it a go.
Oh.
So Taylor was left with blue balls. I thought my vagina had re-split open.
Oh no.
It was horrible. We ended up waiting another 3 or 4 weeks.
Oh no.
Yes, nothing tore open, but it was just.
I didn't even have stitches, and I was still scared. I was too scared, guys.
Yeah,
I was
same.
so nervous.
Yeah, but funny story. So my youngest, something about the youngest. Didn't you say it was your youngest?
It was my oldest.
Oh, your oldest. Okay.
My little one, God bless her, because heard way too much already.
So my youngest, we had just finished, and of course our door was locked and everything. And so we'd taken a shower, done all of our stuff, unlocked the door, and she comes in and she's like, you know, Mommy, Daddy, there was all this thumping, like boom, 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 boom going on. What were y'all doing? And Taylor looked at me and I looked at him. I was like, we're working out.
Yeah.
Daddy was doing them jumping jacks. And she bought it. Never asked another question. But I was like, oh gosh. So I think definitely having to be sneaky with kids and figuring out when to.
And maybe
that's hard.
Maybe that's why it changes the intimacy part of it, because you do have to get sneakier about that, because you're protecting the kids because they are so little.
Yeah.
So I could totally see younger parents having a schedule, and I think in a way we did all schedule at that point, because you waited until the kids went to sleep.
Yes, and now I'm just so dang exhausted between working now that I'm older.
Yes. Yes.
Really, I think like the exhaustion is probably the biggest thing for me now with intimacy, and having to figure out how to sacrifice my sleep for him, because he's not near as exhausted as me.
So that brings us back to, is scheduled sex the enemy or the hero?
Well, I think both.
I think both.
Definitely both. I think it's a hero because, when your life is so busy and hectic.
That is an important part of a marriage.
Yes.
100%.
So you need to have time to do that. Whether it is something you have to schedule, unfortunately, because you are so busy, that is okay.
It may not ever happen if you don't schedule it.
Correct.
That's true.
But then I think if you schedule it too much, it's kind of like, at least for me, it starts to feel like an obligation.
Correct.
Well, we're not scheduling it 3 or 4 times a week now.
Yeah, we got sexy Saturdays. Once a week. We go a week and Taylor acts like he's gone a month.
Yeah, but if you look forward to that sexy Saturday, you should try it. It's a whole lot of fun. Say, honey, I'm going to rock your world Saturday night at 9 p.m.
So wait, okay. Are you guys messaging throughout the week?
100%.
Okay, so that's still being intimate throughout the week.
Yeah, it's like going to a concert. You're excited. You want to talk about it. You can't wait. You're going to decide what you're going to wear. Everything works out.
So that's really cute then.
Or what you're not going to wear.
What you're not going to wear. So you have, like I said, you have something to look forward to. You're talking about it, you're planning it, you're getting, all the feels that come with anticipation, and then Saturday's here before you know it.
That's cute.
I think that's a part that's important for me, is all the feels before. Like all that passion and all that love before, like kind of what you were saying. It's not just being intimate together, it's that passion and love that you have together.
Yes. Like I think as our marriage has progressed, like I said, at least for Taylor, and I feel like most men, sex is intimacy.
Correct.
Where I think it took a lot of, conversation on both of our parts for him to kind of finally realize, I might need you to hold me Monday night. And then Tuesday night, we might get it on.
Correct.
But if I don't get the being held and the snuggles Monday, I'm probably not going to want it Tuesday either.
Correct. Yes. I agree. If you're not having that connection together, I don't want to either.
But it sounds like you and Matt are connecting all week.
That's true. They are connected all week.
All right.
Can I have a refill?
Yes.
These are really good.
I'm glad you like them.
Hopefully I'll sleep really good tonight.
Hopefully.
You know what's also good with these spicy margaritas? Mixing a little bit of pineapple flavor into it. Yes. Next spicy night, something to look forward to.
Got it.
Okay. I bet that is good with some pineapple, some sweet mixed in.
So what's the deal with roommate energy?
I definitely think it's a real thing.
Yes, it is.
I feel like it was more there when our girls were little. As they've gotten bigger, I feel like it's kind of gotten better. But when they were little, we were so focused on keeping them alive and well and fed and entertained that there were some days where we were just kind of going through the motions.
See, and
So,
for me, I
yeah.
think it was opposite. I think it was now, like, not right now in this moment, but beginning of this year, feeling like we were in such that phase of, okay, work 8 to 5, come home, get the kids ready, we got to go to practice, we got to do, my kids are very active, so all 3 of them are in sports. So every day, every night, it was take them somewhere, do this, get dinner done. It was such like a routine and a schedule. And that I felt like we were in so much of that roommate phase, and I felt like we weren't being as intimate together because I was so tired. By the end of the night, by 9, 10 o'clock, I'm exhausted. After working all day, having to do work at nighttime, being with the kids at practice, doing all this stuff, I was exhausted at nighttime. So I felt like we went through that of, it just felt like, hey, I'm going to go do this. You got to take this kid. Okay, tomorrow you take this kid. I'm going to go do this. And it was that. I think for us, it got harder as the kids got bigger, which I did not think. I thought when they were younger, like you, that was going to be harder.
Well, and it definitely may shift. I mean, I still have a couple years before my girls.
What do you think? Because
Get
you've
there,
had
you
both
know?
phases now.
That's right. I think I'm fortunate enough to have the older children like you, Jess, and then the younger children like you, Jess. So having those, different age groups, because ours go from 24 down to 9.
That's crazy and like so much fun.
It's so much fun. It is so much fun. But yes, we've been in and out of that roommate phase where we were just preoccupied with
Just living, surviving.
with everything else. Yes, even down to how are we going to pay for prom and
Yes.
college, and and then we have another one just entering into school. So I think it comes in waves. It comes in phases, and if you're conscious of it and you plan to counteract those things that come up, you do a lot better, intimacy wise.
I think I'm much more conscious of it now, going through that.
Yeah.
Like I know how that feels.
Because it doesn't
And it was
happen
terrible.
overnight. It's
No.
just, okay, honey, you run to the store, and I'll make dinner,
Yes.
and then we're going
But before you know it, it's like,
yeah,
this
before
is
you know it, it's everything. You're not
Yeah.
even talking. It's
correct. It's just about
yeah.
the kids.
Yeah.
I think one of the big things that me and Taylor started doing is at nighttime when we both get off work, we always watch at least an episode of TV together. Like our favorite show. So that even if I'm too tired to have sex, we're at least spending that time together.
See, and maybe I'm just super needy because I thought you were needy, but maybe I'm really needy because I don't like to just sit there and watch TV because I feel like we're not, after working all day, which thankfully now my job is so much better and I'm home and we see each other a ton more. But before, if we're both out of the house 8 to 5, come home and then we're just putting on a show, I feel like for an hour that we have together before I go to sleep, we're not even communicating.
Well, no, I could
So that's
see
just
that.
me though. So I want to actually do something, or let's go for a walk, or let's play a game together. Let's be active where we are actually talking to each other.
I could see that. I think because like when Taylor's in the office 8 to 5 and he's not home, because he comes in and out of home all throughout the day. I think that if I didn't get to see him in those moments, yes, maybe 8 to, because when he does
Right.
come home after 8 to 5, I just want to sit there and talk. Like, let me tell you
Correct.
all about my day. Tell me all about your day.
And maybe that's why, because our jobs
Yeah.
were like that. Well, mine was, because I was out of the house 8 to 5 every day, and then having to come home and do work at nighttime.
Yeah.
So it was in that hour that we had together, we were not communicating. And that's how we got in that phase of, it totally felt just like roommates. Like we were just surviving day by day of what the kids needed to do, the bills that we had to do, the work that we had to do, the sports we had to go to. It was just surviving. But now, like you said, that I'm conscious of that, now it's like you make so much more of an effort in your marriage to not go back to that place.
Yeah.
That's right.
So Nick and I are so much more intentional now than we were.
Mhm. Sometimes I feel like you have to go through things for it to like.
I know, but it sucks.
It does suck.
And it hurts and it sucks, but it is, I have learned through that, yes.
And I think that's one of the big things with, like, I know that there was like a time where a lot of generations, well, not a lot of generations, like the newer generations were just like things would get hard and they'd just end it.
Right.
And I think
Right.
I was always ingrained that, I mean, obviously if there's abuse or something like
Right.
that involved, like that's a whole different story. But like the hurdles of marriage, you can't just give up.
Right.
And so I think like roommate energy, things like that, you have to get through that and stick through it and stick
Right.
together to realize how to overcome that together. and to
Yes,
not go
I
back
agree.
there.
That was good.
Yeah. So, have y'all ever been to a therapist or read any books or anything that like,
I've done both.
okay, do you feel like it helped? Like as far as,
I've done personal therapy. So obviously you both know, we went through a really hard time like in January, February. So I've done both therapies. We've done marriage therapy and I did personal by myself as well. And obviously reading books, and I still read books and I've gotten just better, but I do think it has helped. I think it has helped in the sense of even doing this, like talking with you guys and realizing, it's okay to go through those times. They suck and they're hard, but it's okay to go through those
and you're
times.
not alone.
Right. But I think in those times, or at least I did, I felt very alone in that time. And so I struggled with that. And I am a much more private person, so I think I was struggling by myself for a while. So yeah, it was hard, but yes, it did help. I am Christian. My family, we're all Christian, so I think that has helped me a lot. That was my biggest thing, has helped me, is just realizing that I needed to be fine with myself first.
Yeah.
And that was hard. And then focusing on Nick and the kids. And a lot of it was realizing, like what you said, Nick comes first and then my kids. And that was hard for me. But yes, overall therapy helped us. I think me personally, I needed to work on things. So that has helped me personally.
I keep saying that I'm going to look into a therapist for me, but we have done therapy as a marriage counseling, and I do think that it helped a lot. I mean, our marriage was in shambles at one point, and I think that got us through that, to bring in that outside voice,
Someone else
that doesn't know either one of you, that can't pick sides, that doesn't know any more of the backstory than what you're willing to tell them.
Right.
I mean, it helped a lot.
We've never done therapy, group therapy, family therapy,
Nothing.
no couples therapy. We have a big family, so I think the busyness of it all kept us together many, many years. I think if we had time to sit down and think about things, we would have been a lot more challenged than we have been over the last 20 years we've been together, because we've been busy raising children. So I think, in the quiet moments is when you realize things are not going or are going the way you want them to go. But
Right.
in the chaos, you just keep on moving, kind of like you're in survival mode.
But I feel like the both of you are very more open than I am. I feel like the both of you communicate better when things are good or bad in your life. We all go through trials and we all go through tough times. And we go through great times. But I feel like the two of you are much more open to speaking about that than I am. I feel like I'm much more private. So I think therapy helped me to be more vulnerable with people.
Mm-hmm.
And that helped me personally, for me to be like, it's okay to talk.
I think that broke me a lot when I learned what you had gone through, because I've been through similar.
Right.
And so I feel like I almost feel that guilt for not being able to support you and not being able to be there for you.
Right.
And wishing that I could have been.
But it was like I didn't know, which I told you, I didn't know even how to speak at all. Like I was such like in a bad place, and I had just left a previous job, and it was all just coming down.
Yeah. Which I think sometimes that's what happens when things start to spiral.
Oh, it was out of control.
Yeah.
When it rains, it pours.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was terrible.
So, do you think men experience this shift differently than we do as women?
Yes,
Oh, absolutely.
I think so.
Yes. And I think that goes back to kind of what I said. Like, I feel like for men, sex is intimacy, where at least for me,
Oh, me
like
too.
I need to feel the emotional closeness.
Which you too, because all week you guys are talking to each other and anticipating and getting excited for that weekend.
Yeah, I never really looked at it that way.
I mean, if he just threw himself on you on Monday, I mean.
No, can't do it on Mondays. Not happening on Monday.
But if it just happened on Saturday without all that, anticipation and all that sweet talking throughout the week, I don't think not that it wouldn't be the same, but.
No, it's definitely not the same.
Yeah. I don't think it would be the same either. Yeah, no.
But where guys are okay with that.
They are okay with that.
So Matt makes the effort by giving you all the small talk during the week and all the...
Well, I think it's kind of a two-way street. I think he is excited about it, and we talk about
Right.
everything. So he just shares it with me.
Sexy Saturday.
And as you continue on in your marriage, you just learn so much about each other. That he knows what you need, you know what he needs.
Yep.
Yes, I think communication makes a big difference in that.
Oh yeah, that's
aspect.
huge.
Communication is huge.
And sometimes it takes several fights to figure out how to communicate.
Oh, that's a whole other episode. Communication and arguing is a whole other episode. Because I'll be arguing, but in my head I'm like, just give me a hug. All I want is a hug.
Just hold me.
Yes. But I'm too prideful to tell him that in that moment.
Or else I'm too pissed, don't touch me at all. I either swing one of both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Hold me or don't touch me.
So for our listeners out there, what has been the hardest part of maintaining intimacy in your relationship? Also, what has helped reconnect when you felt miles apart?
Yeah, we would love to hear y'all's input. Love to hear from you. You can find us on social media. We'll post some
We got
polls
what?
this week.
Instagram,
Yep, and TikTok.
TikTok. Do we have Facebook?
No Facebook.
Okay.
I think we've got YouTube.
Instagram and TikTok. I think we have YouTube. We have Spotify, and we will have Apple Podcasts.
Yes.
So please share anonymously. Give us these stories that we can share with the rest of our listeners.
Yeah, we would love to involve y'all into the episodes.
All right, ladies, what's next week? We're
All right.
hosting. Alicia, you're hosting.
Oh, it's my turn. Next week, we're jumping into the mom guilt episode. We'll be talking about how to balance marriage, motherhood, and self-worth without totally losing your mind. If you ever felt like you're failing all three at once, this one's for you. You won't want to miss it. As we wrap up this week's episode, we hope you all remember you are not alone in this mess we call life. So here's to love,
Laughter.
And surviving the mess.
One margarita at a time.
Be sure to subscribe, leave a review, find us on social media, and share us with all your hot mess friends out there.
bye.
Bye.
Marriage, mess and margaritas. Life's a